Okay, so I'm starting off with my hair stretched. It's better to start off with stretched hair just because it makes it a lot easier to deal with. I have a video on how I stretch my hair, so that will be linked in the iCards above and the description box below. So the first thing I'm going to do is make a part in my hair. I'm going to start about the arch of my eyebrow and go back about 3 inches or so and try to make my part as neat as possible because it will be showing. So from the part, I'm going to make like a diagonal part all the way down to the bottom of my other ear. This part I don't really try to make straight, but you can if you want. To me, I don't care that much. I focus more on the part in the front. And then here I'm just going to kind of lightly finger detangle. Since my hair is already stretched, it's already pretty much detangled, but I'm going to really just go in and make sure there's no major tangles. Then I am going to spray my edges with water just because I'm about to slick them down and put some gel on it, so it makes it a lot easier to do so. This is the hair that I'm going to be using to braid. Honestly, this was my first time using this braided hair and I did not like it. It tangled a lot, but I did use it for this hairstyle. So before I add any hair to my hair, I like to cleanse it and condition it. So here I am putting it in a diluted thing of shampoo, and I'm also going to do the same thing with conditioner just so that I can kind of wash off some of those chemicals that are in the braided hair. Then I am going to use my gel and slick my edges down. I am using the Inspired by Made Beautiful Curly Temple Balm. I didn't show it on camera just because on my jar the packaging is rubbing off, so there was no point, you wouldn't be able to see it anyways. But it is the Inspired by Made Beautiful Curly Temple Balm, and I will have it linked in the description box below. Then I'm just going to use my fingers and really just slick it back. I kind of do it like I'm doing like a slicked bun, just so I can slick that whole front. And also I am going to slick the back part of my hair just so that when I braid my hair it looks a lot smoother and neater. When you use gel, it just looks a lot neater and it lasts a lot longer and it eliminates flyaways. So I didn't have my brush on hand, so I had to kind of use my hands to really just smooth the gel through my hair and make sure that my hair is all nice and smooth, like I said, just so that this hairstyle comes out a lot flatter, neater, and lasts a lot longer. If you have a brush, this is when you would use a brush, but like I said, I didn't have my brush on hand, so I just had to use my hands. So then I'm going to take a little section in the front, and this is going to be the section that I'm going to start braiding. Just a little section in the corner of that first section, and we're going to start braiding our hair. Some of this hair, I realized this section was a little too big, so I did split that section into a half, so I didn't use that full section on the first try. First thing I like to do is to just braid my real hair a little bit. Again, this is not a tutorial. This is not going to show you how to braid. There's plenty of other videos on YouTube to show you how to braid. I'm just showing you guys how I did this hairstyle as a whole. I'm not really showing you guys how to braid or how to braid with adding in hair. So that's another video and another tutorial. So like I said, I added in hair. Like I said, this is half of the section that I had just showed you before. This is not that full section of hair. I split it in half and I added hair and I started braiding my hair. Like I just said, I'm not really going to go into depth on how I braided and how I added in hair. There's other videos on YouTube to help you do that. This is just to show you guys how I do this hairstyle, like I said, as a whole. So I'm just going to braid in the braided hair and I am just going to keep braiding. I didn't count how many times I braided my hair in between adding hair. Honestly, I kind of just winged it. I would just look at my mirror every few braids to see if I wanted to add hair at that point. Like I said, I really just winged it and just looked at to see where I wanted to add hair. So I braid my hair again to blend the hair, and I'm just really focusing on smoothing out my real hair so that it blends in with the braided hair. And then right now I'm going to add that second half of hair into my real hair and then continue cornrowing it and just braiding it like normal. The tip when you add hair is just to braid it in like you normally cornrow. Like, don't do anything special, just add the hair in and continue braiding, and it makes it look a lot more seamless and a lot more natural looking than like wrapping the braided hair around your real hair and then braiding it in. Just braid it in. And so I'm going to braid in and then I'm just going to continue braiding. Like I said, I didn't really count how many times I braided my hair in between adding hair. If I had to guess, it was probably about 4 to 5 times, probably not more than 5 times. And then as I'm doing this, I really want to detangle my hair because as you can see, this hair got really tangled, y'all. That's the reason why I said I probably will not use this hair again. And then I'm going to add hair again. So as you guys can see here, I've added hair 3 times at this point, and I am at the middle, in between the middle of my forehead and the arch of my eyebrow. I have added hair 3 times. So if that gives you an idea of how much space I added, how much space I braided before I added hair, that can kind of give you an idea. But like I said, I've added hair 3 times and I'm in the middle of my forehead and eyebrow. So I'm going to keep adding hair and just really smoothing it out, and also, like I said, detangling my hair and making sure the ends don't get tangled, even though, as you guys can see here, I was wrestling with this hair. And then I'm just going to continue braiding it down. You guys can kind of see how it is going to go, so I'm just going to let y'all watch. So now I have gotten to the end of that cornrow, and I'm just going to cornrow it down until I added all the hair left in that section. And now I have done that, so I'm just going to kind of freely braid a few notches or a few braids just to hold it in place before I start my other braid. I'm just going to, like I said, braid it down a few more just to hold it in place before I add this on to my other section that I have to braid. Then I'm going to start on the next section. I am literally going to do the exact same thing, but I'm going to walk you through it again. I am going to spray my hair with water before I apply my gel so that it goes on a lot smoother. I'm going to use my toothbrush with some of the Inspired by Made Beautiful Curly Temple Balm to smooth down my hair. I like to do it pretending like I'm doing my hair in a slicked bun, just so that I can get gel throughout the whole front of my hair, just because that is the part that is going to be braided, so it makes it look more nicer and neater and helps it blend in with the braided hair. So like I said, I'm using my toothbrush to smooth that down, and once I feel like that has gotten pretty smooth, or as smooth as I would like it to be, then I am going to also start braiding. I also am going to use gel on the back side of my hair, the front and the back, so that both sides of my braids are nice and smooth and look nice and neat. Really just ensuring that there is gel everywhere, just to make this hairstyle, like I said, look a lot better. Then once I feel like I have gotten all my gel throughout my hair, I am going to again start braiding. I'm starting off with my real hair just because it makes it look a lot more natural, makes the braid look a lot more natural. And I'm going to braid my hair probably about 4 times. On this section, I got a little carried away and I braided my real hair longer than I should have, but it's okay. It still ended up looking nice, so it worked. So I recommend braiding your hair probably about 4 times before you add in your extra braiding hair. And I am going to add in hair, and I am going to braid exactly like I did with the other section. I really don't feel like I need to re-explain myself, so again, you guys can just watch. So now I have gotten to the point where I am going to join both braids together. I literally just join them together. Like I just add both hair together and I just start braiding individually. Here I take more time on this section just because it ends up being a lot of hair and it's actually really hard to braid all this hair at once. So I take my time to really try to make sure that this hair is neat. But like I said, I just braid like a regular 3-strand braid. And then after I go down about right here ish, I actually end up adding a little bit of hair just because I feel like the braid starts to thin out, and this is a really long braid. This goes all the way down past my belly button, so I didn't want it to thin out just yet. So I just added a piece of hair in here, as you guys can see, and I just braided in. Like I just added in and treat it like one of the 3 sections, and I just braid it in so that it just camouflages in as I braid. And at this point I just braid all the way down, and then it will start to like naturally thin out. But I didn't want it to start thinning out around my shoulder area because, like I said, I made this braid longer than my belly button a little. I made this braid fall about 2 to 3 inches below my belly button. It's almost like right at my butt crack, y'all. Like that's how long this braid was. So this is the finished look. This braid was so stressful to do, but I really like how it turned out. I added in some of these little like jewels here just because I feel like it made the braid look so much better like this. But this is the finished look, y'all. And then again, I took a black rubber band and just tied the end. And as you guys, this is a little close up. And this is, like I said, the finished look of this braid. Then I slicked my edges a little bit, even though you really can't tell. I needed to touch them up again. But that is the finished look, and like I said, that's the end. And yeah. So now you're probably like, sis, but like, how do I sleep at night? So I'm gonna show you that now. So I kind of do it like I'm doing a milk braid, and I take the braid and I like wrap it around the front of my hair, and to keep it in place I take a few bobby pins and just kind of bobby pin the braid to my head. And then I do about 2 to 3 bobby pins around my head just to really pin it in place. And then once it's all like in place and stuff, I take my scarf and make sure everything's still together, and I just wrap it around my head and I just tie it just like that. Like it makes it so simple. This is also how I work out, of course minus the scarf. I tie it around the front of my head like that and I go work out, and this is how I sleep. So this is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in my next.